which formula to use for percentile rank. And I gave him 3 different answers. 3 different formulas that are used, that are commonly used, and there are more than 3. There are some weighted percentile ranks. And I said, you know, there's not one correct answer. And he groaned. He's like, oh my God. And rightfully so. The problem with statistics is every formula you guys use is human created. Which means we're trying to force a human construct onto non-human results and explain them using a formula. But nobody's agreed on which formula is the correct one. Now here's why it's interesting for Nick. Nick's one of the 4s. There's 2 4s up there. One way of saying that, if we use the literal definition of percentile rank as the percentage of those you exceed, what percentile is 4? It's the 0th, because it doesn't exceed anything. That's one definition. Nick said, wait a minute, I'm going to count me and Vivica, the 2 4s that were up there, probably blowing some FERPA law here too. 4 and 4, there are 2. How many data points altogether? 29. So 2 out of 29 is roughly 7%. So they're in the 7th percentile. Well, that's if you include your bar in your percentile calculation. So not just the ones you exceed, but also you plus the ones you exceed. That formula also exists. What if you use the one I talked about before, where you don't include all of yours, you include half of the ones tied with you? Well, then you guys would be the 3.5th percentile, because you would count 1 of you out of 29. But notice, the big thing, Joe, this is why I don't want you to get frustrated. The big thing to remember about these calculations is not that there's one right answer, because there isn't one right answer. All those numbers, 0, 3.5, 7, they're all pretty close to the same value. And as the data set gets really big, they're going to get really closer. I've actually got a quiz for you guys in a couple of weeks that actually has you analyze that using Excel. When the size of the data set gets large enough, the percentiles all, they collapse to the same value anyway. So don't get frustrated, just pick one and go with it. I think the easiest one is to just go with the ones that your percentage you're bigger than. Let me hear some. What are your percentiles, friends?
62nd.
62nd. 76th.
93rd.
93rd. That makes Pat the 97th.
Yep. Ish,
somewhere there. Good. Now, super math man, you know that's not true. But I knew if Claire was at 93, and I just told, we know that's not true, right, Monica? Because I can't even add, as I demonstrated multiple times today. Claire's at 93, and I just, by talking to Nick back there, I know that one person is about 3.5% of the data set. Pat was the next one up. I just add 3.5 to her, 93, 96.5, call it 97. Other ones, what do we got?
57.
45th, 57th? Who's by 23? Who's one of my 23s? That's you, Ryan? You guys right here, Kelsey? What are you guys getting?
79.
You guys agree with each other? Ish. 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 You have more than, you have more than, it's just 2 23s.
Wait.
You guys are half? Let's look. Let's look. Let's look. We got the data sorted, right? My machine's over here. We got the data sorted. So you guys are 23, correct? So here's 23, right there. Now, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Oh, I messed
Here's the deal. What's nice about this, the TI, is any spot you're in, it's going to tell you what spot you're in as well. So right now, I'm in the 22nd spot on list 1. Which means you guys are bigger than 22 out of the 29 people in the class. When I say bigger, been to more states then. You guys have been to more states than 22 out of 29. So your percentile rank would be 22 times 3.5, or boom, 76%-ish, which is close to your 78. There, Ryan, that's close enough to me, in my opinion. You see what I'm doing there? So all you got to do is figure out how many you exceed, divide it by 29, and call that a percentage, and that's your percentile rank. Fair enough?
These earlier would
easier than
be.
everything else we've been doing today.
That.
Or it seems that way.
It's actually, believe it or not, the same. It's the same as what we've been doing. It's just that everything that came before it kind of led you up to it. The raw calculation is very simple. You divide this by this and you're done. Next time, I want to explore those Qs that were in that one-bar stat list next to the median. There was a Q1 and a Q3. I want to explore those some more. I also want to explore this data set again. Everybody do this for me so you don't lose it. Keep your state data. You're clear already? No, wait. I'm going to teach you how to dump your list into a different list so you don't lose it. So you got your list in L1, yes? Arrow up, and then arrow over to, let's just use L6, because why not? Now, I've already put data in there, but it's the Facebook data I can get rid of. So you're on top of L6. Type second 1, and then press enter. What that does is it copies your data over to L6. Now you can use L1 and erase it, and it won't erase L6. So when you come back Thursday, you still have the data from today. It operates kind of like Excel, but not really. Excel, well, never mind. It's good enough. We got our data. Data saved for next time. And Pat, to answer your question from before. Nope. Oh, you are an outlier. Something big. You are. 43 is an outlier, but Claire's not.
Okay, let's see. I don't know.
We're gonna figure out what the hell I just said on Thursday.
You say 97, but if you do that like 29 divided by 29.
28 divided by 29. You're not bigger than yourself. What's up with that? It's out of us. No, but again, Pat, that goes back to Nick's definition. Do you count yourself or not? Depends who you talk to. Some say count it, some say count half of it, some say don't count you at all. I just say the easiest thing to do, count the ones you're bigger than. Divide by 29. So you're bigger than 28. And that's where I got my 97 here. Somewhere there. Is that fair? Good enough? Thank you, Cassidy. Go ahead, drop right there. My friend, you need papers. Yes. Look at one of these two folders. Scroll through there.
I'll see you tomorrow, probably.
Right. Can somebody turn the camera off? Just close the little window thing.
Okay.
That'll turn it off. Thanks, my friend.